In this video, I'll be swatching the new Mermaid Collection from Little Ondine. In case you're not familiar with the brand, Little Ondine makes nail polish that is water-based, so they just peel right off. I'll also be creating a fun little mermaid design to go along with the theme of this collection, so make sure you watch till the end of the video to see that. Before we get started swatching, first I'll be applying the Secret Base Plus Top Coat, which, as the name implies, is both a base and top coat. This is necessary to help the polish peel off smoothly in the end, and to seal in the color so that it lasts longer. First up in the collection lineup is Cabernet Sauvignon, which is a dark, rich burgundy color. The first coat of this was pretty thin, but it did build up really nicely. Because these polishes are water-based, they are going to be a little bit thinner than normal nail polish, and they do take a tad bit longer to dry. No longer than 2 minutes or so per nail, but definitely a tad bit longer than regular polish. Here is 3 coats of Cabernet Sauvignon with no top coat. Next is Buttered Rum, which is an absolutely gorgeous burnt orange with a hint of dustiness. This polish was a complete one-coater, and I'm the kind of person that likes to apply a second coat just because I think applying polish is fun, but this guy didn't need it at all. And this shade is definitely unique to my collection. In the bottle, it's definitely burnt orange, but when it's on the nail, it kind of dries down with a salmony, almost marsala feel to it. It's really cool. Next, we have Pinky Mermaid, which is a beautiful rose gold shimmer that shifts from gold to pink to copper to lavender with little flecks of gold shimmer throughout the entire color. This one also had a slightly thinner texture, but it also built up really well. The shimmer in this polish was stunning, and the gold flash almost completely hid my nail line in most lighting, but I did do 3 coats. Later, I'll show you how this one looks layered. Next up is Mermaid Tears, and this is a silvery shimmer with little tiny sparkles of holographic glitter that come out in the sunlight. So at this point, I'm realizing the shimmers in this collection seem to all have a really similar formula. If you have short nails, 2 coats would probably be enough for the shimmer colors, but long nails will need 3 coats for complete coverage unless you layer. Here is 3 coats of Mermaid Tears with no top coat. Next is the Pianist, which is an absolutely beautiful charcoal gray. I cannot recommend this polish enough. This is another true one-coater. It's so rich and deep, and I love how it's almost black, but it's not, making it more wearable in my opinion. This has definitely become a favorite out of my entire collection. One small thing to note about Little Ondine, because it's water-based, you might get a couple air bubbles in the polish, but I've noticed if you mix the bottle of polish before you apply and let it rest for like 15 minutes, you probably won't have to deal with that. And also top coat did hide a lot of the bubbles if I had any. Next up, we have Fiji, and this is a stunning deep teal polish that screams mermaid. This shimmer polish was a lot more saturated than the previous ones. As you can see on the first coat, it had a lot more coverage and saturation. The second coat brought that green shimmer out, and it made this color fully opaque. Here is 2 coats of Fiji with no top coat. And lastly, we have Blue Danube, and this is what I like to call a TARDIS blue. It's a very rich, almost navy blue, but with some dustiness. This one was a little more sheer than the other cream colors in the collection, but it was still perfect in 2 coats. So there are the swatches for the Little Ondine Mermaid Collection. Out of this collection, my top picks were Buttered Rum, the Pianist, and Fiji. Those 3 are just so nice in formula, and the colors are stunning. Next, I'll show you a mermaid design featuring the polish Pinky Mermaid, except this time I'll be applying it over top of a purple polish from Little Ondine called Admiration. As you can see, putting some undies underneath Pinky Mermaid gives it a nice golden glow, and it complements that lavender shift really well. So if you don't want to do 3 coats of Pinky Mermaid, you can always layer it. For the mermaid scale design, I'll be using Propose, which is the white from Little Ondine, and a small detail brush. To do the scales, I started with 3 U scallop shapes at the top of my nail. Then in between the first row, I painted a second row of scales. If you get these 2 rows right, the rest of the pattern will line up and just fall into place. I also found making small dashes for the sides of the scales helped me keep everything lined up. If you mess up or a couple of your scales are weird shaped, don't worry, just fill them in with white. I also went back and added some more of the Pinky Mermaid into a couple of the scales just to make them pop a little more. I sealed in the design with Secret Base and Top Coat, and that's it. I want to give Little Ondine a huge thank you for sponsoring this video and sending me this gorgeous collection to try out. If you're interested in picking up any of the polishes I used in this video, I'll have everything linked in the description box below. And as always, if you give this design a try, I'd love to see a picture of it. You can share it with me on any of my social media handles that I have linked below as well. And if you really like mermaids, I do have a couple other mermaid nail tutorials, and if you'd like to watch those, you can just click on these boxes here.